talk about you but don't mean it. What's the reason? People hate you cause you breathing like they ain't breathing. Twin Glock, Siamese twin, take your breathing.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Someone came up and just shot my assistant manager.
Where is the shooter?
I don't have enough information. He's gone. He left in his car. He literally left a second ago.
She even said, I think he's the kind of person that's gonna try to kill me.
I know it's her daughter.
He did.
What up, though? Another reaction. A broad daylight shooting in Texas. Someone lost their life. You heard? And when somebody, when somebody coming to get you broad daylight, they really want you, bro. That means they want you right now, not later, not tomorrow, not the next day, not the day after that. They want you right now. That's what that means. Let's run this video, though.
She even said, I think he's the kind of person that's gonna try to kill me.
I know it's her daughter.
He did. Oh my God. I know he did this. He's an evil person. He cannot get away with this. He cannot get away with this.
This is Teresa Collard. Her 24-year-old daughter, Alyssa Burkett, was just shot in the face while sitting in her parked car. The shooting was overheard by one of Alyssa's co-workers, who was slackishly playing Minesweeper at their desk. Startled by the gunfire, they immediately dialed 911.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Someone came up and just shot my assistant manager.
Where is the shooter?
I don't have enough information. He's gone. He left in his car. He literally left a second ago.
Officers from the Carrollton, Texas Police Department were dispatched to an apartment leasing office at 1120 MacArthur Drive. As they walked toward the building, they passed a gray Toyota Corolla with a single bullet hole in the driver's side window. They also noticed a knife sheath on the sidewalk. Lying right outside the front entrance was Alyssa, who appeared to be unresponsive. In addition to the gunshot wound to her face, she was also covered from head to toe in deep lacerations. By this point, medics had arrived at the scene, so officers finished securing the perimeter while Alyssa received medical attention. But unfortunately, the medics were too late. At 9:12 a.m., Alyssa Burkett was pronounced dead.
Yeah.
The forensic...
Yo, bro. A shotgun to the face? She probably was DOA, bro. She probably was gone on impact. Like, I ain't gonna lie. A shotgun to the face, bro? Nah, she was DOA. He overkilled her. He didn't need a cutter.
Forensic unit proceeded to set up a tent in order to thoroughly examine Alyssa's body. Meanwhile, the officers finished securing the area and began interviewing several witnesses who all said that Alyssa was ambushed.
We just getting our day started.
Okay. Were you here when everything happened?
Yes, I was sitting at my desk.
Apparently, Alyssa pulled her vehicle into her parking spot at around 9 a.m., just in time for work. Little did she know, her killer was just a few spots over, sitting in a black Ford SUV.
Always check your surroundings, y'all. Always check your surroundings. You heard? Anytime you pull up to a spot, even when you stop at a red light, bro, check your surroundings. Always check your surroundings. Look. Even if it's a quick second, just 360 real quick. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could be coming up on you with the quickness, bro, and you just catch him real quick, like, oh, what he doing? Because if you see, bro, whenever you see something that don't look right, your instincts is automatically gonna kick in. Like, if you just looking and you peep something that don't look right, you gonna automatically do that, because your vision is you scanning, basically. You scanning. You know what I mean? You scanning your surroundings, and if it don't look right, it's signaling your brain. So that's why you jump like that. That's why you always look twice. That's why cause that ain't supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you looking around, you might not think you will see something, but you will see it. That's all it takes, just to look around. You see some shit, somebody running up on you, somebody speeding, whatever. You gonna notice. Oh, whoa. Hey, let me get up out of here. You crazy? Come on.
ran up to Alyssa and fired his shotgun into her driver's side
Always
window.
check your surroundings.
I heard that pop. I turned around. I knew it was a gunshot.
Alyssa's co-workers panicked and stayed inside the building to protect themselves from the active shooter. The suspect jumped back into his vehicle and began to flee the scene until Alyssa, covered in blood, exited her car and stumbled over to a window near the front entrance.
And before you what you call it? Before you turn your car off, always check your surroundings. Before you exit your car, keep your doors locked. You know what I mean? Windows always rolled up when you pulling up. Always check your surroundings before you turn that whip off, you heard? Don't just turn the whip off.
As she banged on the window, begging for help, the attacker then ran up to her again and stabbed her several times. The attacker then jumped into his vehicle again and fled the scene for good.
Damn, so she ate that.
Yeah, in the hand. Don't touch it.
Damn, she ate that shotgun to the face. My bad, y'all. That's crazy though. She ate that shotgun to the face and still got up, bro. And made it to the door. That means she would have survived if they didn't lock that door. Not saying they caused her to die, because anybody would have locked their door. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Anybody would have locked their door. But shit, if they ain't locked that door, she probably would have lived. Because then she would have ran inside, and then they would have locked the door. You know what I'm saying? Because, of course, we're not letting this nigga run up in here. We're not letting this killer, whoever, whatever, run up in here.
Anything, okay?
The investigators gathered around to inspect Alyssa's vehicle.
She got shot in the car. Okay. But you can see her handprints.
During this inspection, they discovered a tracking device hidden in one of the wheel wells. The device is collected for evidence, and while investigators took photos of the vehicle, the lead detective contacted Alyssa's family to inform them of the tragic news.
We're going to start having family members show up here.
Not long after, Alyssa's mother, Teresa, showed up at the crime scene completely devastated, bringing us right back to the moment at the beginning of this video.
She even said, I think he's the kind of person that's gonna try to kill me. And he did. And he did. Oh my God.
Probably was the relationship.
The person Teresa is referring to is 33-year-old Andrew Beard, the father of Alyssa's daughter. Andrew has a successful career at Hilti Tool Services. He goes on frequent vacations, lives in a big house, and has his own airplane.
So
after going on a few Tinder dates with Andrew, the relationship went stale. But soon after, Alyssa found out she was pregnant. Once they're Alyssa's daughter. Andrew has a successful career at Hilti Tool Services. He goes on frequent vacations, lives in a big house, and has his own airplane. After going on a few Tinder dates with Andrew, the relationship went stale. But soon after, Alyssa found out she was pregnant. Once their daughter was born, a tumultuous custody battle ensued.
Hi, everyone.
Bro, y'all might not like this video. Y'all might not like this video. Y'all might not like me for this video. But I'm only keeping it a rack. All the way. Double racks. Shorty calls this on herself. She calls this on herself. A Tinder date, bro. You got wrapped up like that with a Tinder date, bro. First of all, in Tinder, bro, a lot of people go missing. A lot of people die. Tinder is the most trafficking sex dating app in the world. You heard? If you think Facebook dating is risky, sign up for Tinder. See how long you would last. Bro, they got niggas. Yo, bro, them folks on Tinder is up there for one specific reason. For pussy. Nah, but they there for pleasure, though. You heard? Woman, man, unisex. They there for pleasure. One thing only. That's what they did for. Some of them really did for love, but majority of the people up there is there for pleasure, bro. And they use that app to go crazy, bro. Kidnap, trafficking, all type of shit. Cause you know, when you about to get sexual with somebody, it's or you're not even somebody that you're not even dating. You don't want nobody to know. So most of the things that goes on Tinder, or any other dating app, bro, usually is low key. People try to keep it low key. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want people to know they using these things. They don't want their friends to know, yo, I'm on this app. I'm looking for love. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. Tinder is a no-no. And then on top of that, she should have knew better than letting this man hit raw. She should have known better. First of all, y'all had a few dates, not just one. So y'all had a few dates that kept going sour, and you kept trying to stick with this man, probably because he had money. You heard? So most likely because he had money. And that's, again, why I'm saying it's her fault. Y'all might not like me for this one, but hey.
Everyone, my name's Alyssa. This past year, I have been going through a custody battle, a very ugly one. I have a 1-year-old child. It's taken a toll on my mental and physical health. With that being said, I've become a lot stronger in the process. And I guess just my message is, no matter what you're going through, stick it out, you can do it, and stay strong.
Despite her positive outlook, Alyssa's finances were crumbling behind the scenes. However, in March of 2020, things seemed to take a turn for the better. The two reached an agreement regarding the custody of their daughter Willow and child support. By April, they were finally able to move on with their lives. Alyssa started dating a man named Ben, and Andrew started dating a woman named Holly, who he proposed to after just 1 month together. In the first conversation,
Holly looked like some fire too. Holly looked better than her.
Between Alyssa and Holly, things looked promising. Holly texted Alyssa, "Look forward to having a super healthy relationship with you and Ben." Alyssa responded, saying, "I hope your influence helps, because I'd love nothing more than for all of us to have a healthy relationship." However, it turned out
she messed up. You wasn't supposed to text her back. You wasn't supposed to if you text her back, you were supposed to say, "Who gave you my number?" That's what you were supposed to say. Off the bat, that's what you're supposed to come off rip. Just because that's your man's new girlfriend, that don't mean, yo, this is your business. And that goes for female too. Just because a man get a new girl, I mean, that go for men too. Just because a girl get a new man, that don't mean you. Most men don't even do shit like that. But if you do shit like that, you're a weirdo. Oh, you're a super weirdo, bro. Like, what? Come on now. But for females though, you don't need to be in your man's business. He's not even your man at this point. He's just your baby's father. As long as he respect the boundaries with your kid and her, as long as he respect the boundaries with you and your kid, matter of fact, I said it wrong. You good. Don't worry about nothing. If the boundaries respected, you don't worry about nothing. But you don't need to do this, because this is going to spark jealousy. This is going to spark a whole different type of demon. You heard? Come on, bro, because first of all, you his baby mother. So you eating, you getting all the money. He's a rich nigga, bro. Now I'm saying he ain't rich. I ain't going to say he rich, but he up some. Got his own private plane. Got his own mansion. Got his own range. Got his own land. Come on, he's doing good. He's wealthy if he ain't rich. And he'll die a happy man and still be able to pass on some wealth to his kids, probably. You know how much it costs to own a private plane, bro? Come on. Let's talk there. Let's start there. Like J-Main say, what? Let's start there. Like, that shit is a lot of money. So she eating. You know his the wages for his child support is up there, bro. It's up there. So she's eating, And you know Holly look young. Her name is Holly to begin with. She gonna want that bag, bro. Why? She gonna want that bag. She, in her head, quarter of the money that the baby moms is getting, she's not getting. She's not even getting a quarter of that. And she's your girl. That's how she feels. She gonna want her out of the picture. Jealousy, that's what starts this.
Note that this healthy relationship was nothing but a pipe dream. In September, like just a month before Alyssa was murdered, a man named Frank called 911 to report that Alyssa was selling drugs out of the back of her car while at work.
I saw what I thought looked like someone
tried
just
to frame
selling some drugs out of their trunk, and I could smell it and I could see it. And
Okay, what kind of vehicle is it?
it's a little Toyota Corolla. I have a license plate if that helps.
Okay, great. What was your last name?
And you know them Toyotas be hot. The Toyotas is what that was the getaway cars back in the days, bro. I don't know, like 08 shit like that. That was the getaway cars. Toyotas.
Officers went to Alyssa's workplace to investigate these
Toyotas,
claims.
Hondas.
Inside her trunk, they found cash, drugs, and a pistol. However, it was determined that Alyssa had no real connection to these items. Somebody had planted them. Although the police believed that Andrew was responsible for this, there was ultimately not enough evidence to place any charges.
I knew that it was him when the drugs didn't work in the car for him to get the baby.
Yeah, he tried to put her in jail. That's what that was. Try to put her in jail to get her off child support. Cause you know once she's in jail, she done lost all custody. This ain't a we thing no more. This is a me. You an unfit mother now. Once you in jail, you don't count. So you're not getting no money. Regardless, cause you in jail. So that was him. That was the first setup, and it failed.
Alyssa also expressed to her friends that Andrew always seemed to know where she was, and that she would frequently run into him on her nights out. Because of this, she became fearful for her life and began sending paranoid texts to her friends. Come over while I walk inside. Do you see anyone around you? Lock the door behind you. He is going to try to get someone to kill me next. Just a month before the attack, Alyssa started a GoFundMe to help with the legal fees of the custody battle, where she wrote, "At this point, I am scared for my life and my daughter's life."
I know he did this. He's an evil person. He cannot get away with this.
What scared Teresa even more was that on the day of the murder, Andrew had custody of Willow.
Yes, I want my grandbaby away from him. Oh my God.
But wait, how could Andrew be the killer if the witnesses said they saw a black male?
Setup.
Even if this was true, it's still possible that Andrew was involved in the planning of this attack.
She apparently has had a history with baby daddy.
Andrew Beard is the suspect?
Yes.
The police sent units to Andrew's home and put out a bolo for his white F-150, as well as the killer's black Ford SUV. Within hours, Andrew's truck was spotted, and he was pulled over for a traffic violation. After following an order to exit his vehicle, he was immediately handcuffed.
My part was to just find me. That's all they asked me to do.
Sitting in the passenger seat was Andrew's new fiancée, Holly Elkins. She was removed from the vehicle and handcuffed as well. But Holly wasn't the only passenger. Willow was also in the truck, safe and sound.
They was about to get up out of here. In a car seat in the back seat. They've been pretty cooperative.
There wasn't enough evidence linking Andrew to Alyssa's death, so he and Holly were free to go. Due to the custody agreement, they were allowed to take Willow with them. But instead of going home, they were taken to a nearby Airbnb to stay at for the time being. Andrew's F-150 was seized, and a search warrant for the couple's home was executed later that night.
Carrollton Police Department search warrant. If you're in there, come out with your hand up.
During the search, police found an envelope covered in writing, with details of Alyssa's workplace and a description of her vehicle. They also found the name Frank Morrow, the person who called 911 to report Alyssa for dealing drugs. Police also discovered a charger and batteries for the tracking device that was found on Alyssa's vehicle.
So we found this GPS tracker box.
Back at the station, Andrew's truck was being searched as well. They found a backpack in the back seat, and inside the bag there was a pair of men's hiking boots that were soaked in bleach and had been cut into pieces, as well as 2 bottles of dark brown makeup. Detectives now believed that Andrew used this makeup to disguise himself during the attack. Investigators also discovered that Andrew had recently bought a black Ford Expedition just days before Alyssa's murder. They were able to locate it on a random suburban street less than a mile away from his house.
That man was moving tack, bro. He was moving tack. I ain't gonna lie. I would have never thought. He was moving tack, bro. If she ain't report him, if she ain't been reporting him for so long and doing all of this, keeping up with what's going on, they would have never figured this one out. I promise you. They would have never figured it. They would have never, because they would have been looking for a black man, bro. They would have been looking for a black man, bro. That's just crazy.
Using the SUV's GPS location data, they determined that he abandoned it there at about 9:30 a.m., a half hour after Alyssa's attack. They believed that this person, caught on a nearby home security camera, was Andrew, running through the neighborhood after abandoning the vehicle. While searching the vehicle, investigators found multiple blood stains that were confirmed through DNA testing to be from Alyssa. They also found Andrew's beard. Fake facial hair you might see someone wear on Halloween. With the discovery of all of...
They got his hair out of there. That's the thing about the mask, y'all. You heard? Mask, hats. You heard? When you put a mask on, it get DNA. So when you get hot and you take the mask off, and let's say you fuck around and throw the mask away because you just committed a crime, you heard? That mask have your DNA on it. Because little specks of water, of saliva, is coming out of your mouth when you talk and when you open your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna have your DNA on it, regardless. Rubbing up against your lip. You know what I'm saying? Then with this now, the beard and the hats, they gonna have your hair on it. Even though you don't think you losing hair when you take your hat off and shit like that. You might rip a little piece of hair. Just a little piece. Might get stuck up in there. And that's all they need.
Of this evidence, Andrew was contacted and told that he would be arrested if he didn't turn himself in. The next day, he came down to the station to do just that. Andrew was booked into the Dallas County Jail, and his bail amount made it unlikely that he would get out anytime soon.
Beard's bond is set at $1 million. He is currently in the Dallas County Jail charged with murder, and police say it's very clear this killing was not random, it was planned, and it was personal.
A few days later, his fiancée Holly volunteered to speak with the police. She vouched for her husband-to-be and claimed that the idea of him doing something like this was complete nonsense.
I can't believe that my fiancé would do something like that to a woman or to any...
She probably coached him into doing it. You heard? She probably coached him into doing it.
Body. But a woman. So I just told all my friends and family that I'm engaged to the most wonderful man on the planet. Yeah. And now people want me to believe that he's not that.
And there are so many emotional roadblocks for you to try to believe that. I get that. I'm telling you, there's a side of him that you do not know.
The detective spent over an hour trying to convince Holly.
And she's doing a good job too, because she trying to not show any type of, how you say it, she's trying to play like you know, the sad wife, the sad girl. Damn, disappointed. My man, her man is a killer. He's not what she expected. You know, all that love drama shit. She's trying to disguise the whole picture right now. She's trying to paint a whole different picture of herself right now to them. You heard? That's what all that. Oh, I thought he was a nice guy. Keeping the attention on him. That's what all of that is about. I thought this, I thought that. This, he,
that Andrew was a killer, hoping they would come out of the interview with a key witness to testify against him in court. But Holly refuted any suggestion that Andrew was responsible, claiming that he was actually home with her at the time of the murder.
There are a few hours that you know he was not in that house.
You cannot tell me that I feel that way, sir.
I can tell you that because I know that for a fact that he was out of the house, Holly.
I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
That's what my problem is. I am a total stage 5 clinger girlfriend. I'm always up his ass. I find it hard to believe. I want to help. I really do. But I don't have any answer.
Right now.
I'm trying to help and no one's helping me. I just feel bad to not help something that I think is very sad that happened. I've literally cried myself to nauseam every single night over this.
Holly was adamant that Andrew had nothing to do with Alyssa's death. But the detectives weren't buying it. They suspected that Holly was covering up for Andrew. Holly realized this and told them that she would get a lawyer if she had to.
I don't want or need a lawyer because I don't have anything to hide. Yeah. Will I feel like the dumbest, most manipulated woman on the entire planet if this is true? Yes.
It seemed that both sides of the table had their minds made up, so the interview was concluded and Holly went back to her Airbnb. The GoFundMe, set up for Alyssa's custody battle, was repurposed to help with her funeral costs and any future legal fees. With the help of the community, it raised over $6,000. On October 8th, 2020, 6 days after Alyssa was killed, the funeral took place at Rest Haven Memorial Park. Her obituary read, "Alyssa was strong-willed, ambitious, fiercely determined, and driven. She had many friends, and she was a natural leader among them. Her presence will be deeply missed by everyone who knew and loved her." Also, Alyssa's family and friends posted online about the positive effect she had in their lives. For example, one of Alyssa's loved ones posted, "Alyssa represented a strong, kind, and determined leader. She left an impression on me that will last my entire life." Unexpectedly, 2 weeks after turning himself in, on October 21st, Andrew's bail of $1 million was paid and he was released.
A Rowlett man accused of shooting, then stabbing to death the mother of his child is free on bond this afternoon. And the victim's family believes he is a threat to public safety.
He was taken to the Dallas County Courthouse, fitted with an electronic GPS ankle monitor, and released for home confinement, placed on bail after a $1 million bond was paid on his behalf.
With news of Alyssa's killer being released, her family was terrified of him coming after them as well. Another serious concern was that he could flee from the authorities and Alyssa wouldn't get the justice she deserved. Alyssa's grandfather pointed out that Andrew was a pilot, making him a literal flight risk.
The family of Alyssa Burkett wants to know why someone paid for that release. They believe he should still be behind bars.
He is a flight risk himself. He has a pilot's license and he has an airplane that the police have not been able to locate yet.
The Carrollton Police Department decided to get the FBI involved, and just 8 days after being released, Andrew was once again taken into custody.
A Rowlett man accused of murdering the mother of his child has been arrested on a new charge.
Andrew Beard now faces a federal firearms charge. He recently bonded out of jail after being arrested for the murder of Alyssa Burkett.
Yeah, Heather and Steve, many people could not believe that Andrew Beard was out of jail after posting a $1 million bond. Now the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas has found a way to charge him federally, and he is right back behind bars.
$1 million.
Now Beard is back in jail on a federal charge of possessing an unlicensed firearm silencer.
It turns out that during the search of his home, an unregistered silencer was found, which warranted an arrest under federal law.
They did see that it was a homemade silencer. It did not have any serial numbers or manufacturing markings.
The ATF says it has no records of Beard legally owning a silencer and that the silencer has no manufacturer markings or a serial number.
Andrew's charges were eventually changed to stalking using a dangerous weapon resulting in death and discharging a firearm during a crime of violence for the next year and a half. During this time, Teresa was given full custody of Willow. They consistently visited Alyssa's grave and held a memorial event in her honor.
What is that?
Balloon.
As for Holly, she left Texas and went back to her home state of Michigan, cutting off all communication with Andrew. She got a new condo, a new fancy car, and a new boyfriend. Then, on July 15th, 2022, Andrew suddenly requested to speak with the prosecutors. He wanted to make a plea deal. They were able to quickly come to an agreement. As part of this plea deal, he sat down with the detectives and shared his side of the story. He claimed that Holly was the mastermind behind everything. She desperately wanted a perfect family.
Yo, what I say, bro? What I say, bro? It's no way, bro. She seemed like the type to me. She seemed like the type. You feel me? All classy and she's just too sassy. Like the way she do her thing, like it's way too like she acting. That's why and y'all might hate me for this one, but that's what scared me about Nicki Minaj, cause she's like that. That's why I know she's a backdooring motherfucker. Real shit, bro. Nicki is a scary person, bro, and she got that vibe. Know that. Oh, I'm a girl, but real deep down, they some monsters. You are monsters. Backdoor you quick.
With Andrew and Willow, and would stop at nothing to make this dream come true. He started by citing an incident that happened 2 months before Alyssa's death. On August 6th, 2020, Holly called 911 saying that she had been assaulted by Alyssa's mother, Teresa. 2 officers were sent to Holly's house to investigate these claims.
The grandmother.
Apparently, while grabbing Willow out of Holly's lap, Teresa attacked.
She literally attacked me from behind side. I was facing the lake.
The officers took pictures of Holly's injuries.
I have
No. Oh, you have some on your stomach? Okay.
And it was immediately obvious that the red marks on her chest and stomach were not inflicted by another person. Holly's plan failed miserably, so she decided to step it up a notch. She came up with another plan to frame Alyssa for drug trafficking.
If you were to ask me whose idea was what, drugs.
She was trying to get Alyssa for that money. She wanted that money.
Was Elkins.
But as we already know, this plan failed as well. At this point, Holly's patience was wearing thin, so she told Andrew that it was time to get serious.
It was made very clear to me that your previous methods aren't working. This is what you're going to do now in order to prove that that you're worthy.
Holly became increasingly manipulative towards Andrew, constantly calling his masculinity into question by texting him things like, "I don't want anyone who is a to some lowlife or a pushover. I want a man who protects his woman and child before anyone and doesn't give two fucks otherwise."
Like, I was emotionally drained, and at that point I just basically said okay and became submissive to whatever she wanted me to do. That's the task I did.
Holly also told Andrew that they needed to get rid of Alyssa once and for all.
It was you're going to dress up as a different person. Essentially, you're going to wear this dark makeup. That was her plan. That was how it's going to be done. It does look planned out because it was. The process was planned out.
It makes sense. It makes sense. He ain't never killed before. I have never seen somebody put on makeup and do that. You heard? In movies, yeah. But a female would think of the makeup faster than a man, because they get compliments like, "You look different. Oh, I didn't recognize you." Shit like that when they wear makeup. So they know the power of makeup.
A week and a half before the murder, she went on vacation to Mexico, but continued to pressure Andrew while she was away. She texted him, "I'm not coming home to bullshit. I hope you handle it." Andrew responded, saying, "That's my goal." Then Holly said, "Well, it will be a whole different conversation if I feel like you are a ride or die. If not, then IDK." By the time Andrew carried out the murder, Holly was back from her vacation and stayed home with Willow while the attack occurred. The detectives asked Andrew why he went back to finish the job after Alyssa got out of her vehicle to seek help. He said he believed the gunshot wound was fatal and that he wanted to put her out of her misery. But according to the forensic pathologist, Alyssa was stabbed a total of 44 times.
What?
To the detectives, this seemed a bit
overkill, like I said. Overkill, bro. That one shot would have been it. That would have been it. She would have been fighting for her life if she didn't, like, succumb to her injuries right there and there. She would have been fighting for her life. You feel me? God forbid if she would have lived or died. It would have been up to God right there. You know what I'm saying? But you ended her, bro. You didn't give her the fighting chance. You went there and gut her like a fish. Like, come on, bro. That's overkill. 46?
Overkill for a so-called mercy killing. They found it extremely unlikely that Andrew was a mere victim of Holly's manipulation and believed that Andrew was downplaying his own desires to kill Alyssa. According to Andrew, once the murder was carried out and Holly returned home, she made him describe details of the murder during intercourse. Following this interview, Andrew was sent back to the detention center to await his sentencing hearing. In a press release announcing Andrew's plea deal, the U.S. Attorney, Chad Meacham, released a statement saying, "This was a brutal, bloody crime. Miss Burkett's daughter is now suffering twin tragedies. Her mother is deceased, and her father is a confessed killer. We pray for strength for this child and for the rest of her family in the days, weeks, and years to come." For the next 10 months, the detectives focused on building their case against Holly. Then, in May of 2023, Andrew's sentencing took place. He received 43 years in federal prison. 2 months later, in July, Holly was returning to the U.S. after another vacation, this time in the Dominican Republic. As she exited the plane at the Miami airport, she was arrested.
Fiance of a Rowlett man is now charged with helping to carry out the murder of his ex-girlfriend. Federal prosecutors arrested Holly Ann Elkins in Miami. Now, you might remember this story. Andrew Beard pleaded guilty to shooting and stabbing 24-year-old Alyssa Burkett in 2020 as she arrived to work at a Carrollton apartment complex. They share a child. He's currently serving a 43-year sentence. This new indictment alleges Elkins helped plot the killing by stalking Burkett and brandishing a firearm.
Holly's arrest came as a shock to Alyssa's family, who up until this point had put all of the blame on Andrew.
It's bittersweet. You know, it brings up all the hurt of the loss, but we're glad that she's being held accountable for it. It's a challenge, and this arrest is, it came as a surprise, but the more details I find out about it, the more I realize that she played a really big part in this. And she's gone 2.5 years without any accountability. So I'm glad that she is being held accountable at this point.
She was charged with conspiracy to stalking using a dangerous weapon resulting in death, and brandishing a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. Her trial began on April 10th, 2024. And in their opening statement, the prosecution said Andrew Beard is a monster, but he was Holly Elkins' monster. They outlined Holly's secret hatred for Alyssa, highlighting all of the special names she had for her in her phone records. They also outlined Holly and Andrew's toxic relationship turned deadly from beginning to end. Only 2 months into their relationship, Holly was already berating Andrew about Alyssa, texting things like, "Your BM owns you. You continue to put BM first. You choose to be, IDK, for lack of a better term, submissive to her. I don't have want or need any bullshit from anyone." Around this time, she was also doing a ton of research into many different tracking devices. As you already know, Holly proceeded to harass Alyssa for the next several months leading up to her death. But the prosecution highlighted even more incidents that were discovered during the investigation into Holly. For example, Holly once placed a call to 911 under the fake name Amber, falsely claiming that Alyssa's car was driving erratically on the interstate. She also paid a private investigator to dig up dirt on Alyssa. This private investigator testified at the trial, saying that they found nothing incriminating. Once the timeline reached September, the jury began to see a murder plan unfolding. On September 13th, 2020, Holly and Andrew purchased the black Ford SUV. The next day, on September 14th, 2020, Holly purchased the dark brown makeup from a drugstore. 5 days later, on September 19th, 2020, using her location history, investigators determined that she had accompanied Andrew to a supercenter. There, they purchased the same ammunition from the crime scene and a Camillus knife, which matched the sheath. Then, on October 2nd, 2020, Andrew, dressed in a black rain suit and disguised with makeup and a fake beard, shot Alyssa in the head with the shotgun, and after she stumbled out of her car to seek help, Andrew stabbed her 44 times. Her co-workers testified at trial that they found Alyssa covered in blood and gasping for air near the front door of the building. Prosecutors also presented a series of Google searches that Holly made right after her interview with police. They read, "Can I not be brought to court if I have a psychiatrist note? Vulnerable patients going to court? Contact psychiatrist in Dallas. Can I not be subpoenaed to jail
crazy.
if I have a mental issue? In closing argument,
yo, y'all, I'm going through the same shit right now. That's crazy. Like, I'm really going through the same shit right now, and it's with a female that I don't even know. I don't even know her. Real shit, bro. Like, all I did was tell this lady to ask her daughter to stop knocking at my door, bro, and she ignored. So I told the daughter, stop knocking at the door. Stop doing that. Her daughter is running, knocking on my door and hiding. You know what I'm saying? Running around, whatever. They kids, I ain't mad at that, but it's just annoying. You know what I'm saying? And she just been doing it for too long and being unchecked. So I'm telling the mother, yo, bro, the mother got crazy. So I got crazy with her. And I told her, yo, you know what? I'm not even going to sit and argue with you. Call your man. Let me talk to him. He got some sense. Talk to her, man. I'm not even going to tell y'all the story, bro. But that's going to be another, that's another thing, you heard? But I'm going through the same shit, bro. I basically got cops, like, watching me on surveillance camera, giving my location to people and shit. Like, people following me around, calling each other, like, all type of shit, bro. This is dead. I don't got no tracking device on me or none of that, but people were stalking me and the cops is watching me on camera, using the cameras to locate me and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I got this similar shit going on. It's real similar. But shit, man, I'm ready. Nigga ain't gonna do me like that. We going out together. Or you going out by yourself.
prosecutors said that all of this stemmed from Holly's obsession with getting custody of Willow.
That's just me.
According to those inside the courtroom, Holly had zero emotion throughout the entire trial. After 7 days and just 90 minutes of deliberation, the jury had reached their verdict. Holly Elkins was found guilty on all counts. Family and friends rejoiced outside of the courtroom, thankful that justice was finally being served.
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed with emotions right now, really. Yeah.
Bro, I'm a post all that. I got a couple shit, bro. Personal content, my own personal body cam from my situation that I'm telling y'all about. I'm gonna post all of that. I'm gonna put it together and I'm gonna make my own body cam content type shit. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I had this same situation going on. You heard? This female, I don't know her, bro. She this girl, this bitch just been. I'm calling her a bitch because that's what the fuck she is. You heard? She ain't no female, she ain't no lady, she ain't no woman, she's a bitch. She just been stalking me basically, bro. That's what it is. But using mad people to stalk me, bro. Police, all that, bro. Just trying to put me in jail. That ass, bro. Trying to put me in jail, bro. Cause she don't like me because I told her what she was supposed to hear, bro. Like, come on. Fuck, bro. You putting your kid at risk. You putting your kid at risk. You don't know who I am. You don't know what's going on. We live in the projects. You got your daughter banging on people's door, bro. Come on now. I could have been anybody, bro. I could have been anybody. Took your daughter, killed her, did whatever. Anything, bro. I could have been anybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, that shit. Y'all females, y'all get me tight sometime, bro. But some of the shit y'all go through, y'all deserve. And I'm not talking about this situation, though. But shorty right here, she ain't deserved this. But she caused it on herself. You heard? She caused it on herself. The baby mama who died, she caused it on herself.
Gotta be a big mix. But happy, overwhelming emotions. Because finally, this has been a long time coming. What would Alyssa think about this? I mean, she would be thrilled. I mean, I've been going to that gravesite since day one, telling her justice is going to be served.
A few months later, on August 15th, 2024, Holly Elkins received 2 life sentences to be served consecutively. She currently resides at FMC Carswell in Fort Worth, Texas, while Andrew Beard resides at USP Tucson in Arizona. As for Willow, Teresa is currently in the process of adopting her. They talk about Alyssa on a regular basis and routinely visit her grave.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hoping to keep Alyssa's memory alive for her daughter.
Her baby gets up in the morning and goes right to a picture of her mother and picks it up and kisses it every day. On Mother's Day, she asked if she could take a gift to heaven and give it to her mother. So she's aware of it. She left such a big hole in our family, and of course her beautiful daughter is with our family, and she's just like her in many ways, and so it's a constant reminder of that one of our tribe is missing. When someone says, "I'm glad you got closure," you know, sometimes I have to say, you know, it's not like that. Alyssa was, you know, the victim of an unprovoked attack. We can learn from it and we can integrate it into our lives, but I don't think you ever close the book totally on something like this, which is the way I feel about Alyssa. The book is still open with her.
Yup, that's so true. You would never, ever, ever heal from a death, and that's big facts. That's big facts, bro. Nobody, don't matter who, ever heal from a death, because somebody's hurt behind that. So the person that's being hurt, the hurt that come with the energy, that come with that hurt, is gonna live with them forever, bro. All the memory that they have with that person is gonna live with them forever, bro. Because of the emotion that's stored inside of the memories. The energy from that emotion is just too much to let go of. So your mind will never let it go. Because it's a part of you now. You heard? Energy is real. People don't believe in it, bro. It's real, son. It's real. That's going to live with you until you die. That's why 50 years from now, you could think about something that happened and feel like, yo, it happened yet. This shit feel like it happened yesterday. You know, you have a conversation with your mans or your homegirl, your whoever you're talking to, but you having a conversation with them and you just out of nowhere just get a flashback and you just start thinking of some shit like, oh shit, damn son, this shit feel like it was yesterday. That's cause the memory got so much emotion attached to it, bro. There's so much feelings in that memory. The energy is strong, so it just attached to your energy to feed. Once you die, that energy dies, or it just goes on to whoever hold you dear to their heart. You know what I mean? Y'all play with death, bro. Y'all play with death. Y'all play with that shit. Look, man, I hope this baby really like get the life she deserved, man, because that's sad. Kids shouldn't go through shit like that. That's why we got so much YN demons running around right now. Real shit, bro. It's not funny, but it is. It's not funny, but it is. But that's really why we got them. Because this stuff like this, poor decision making. I hope everybody have a good night. You heard? Look left, look right. Make sure the doorman don't bite. And yeah. But it's OC. It's not just comedy. It's everything. And I'm out of here.
Turn a dollar to a dream. Hustle hard, every day is on repeat. Made myself a boss, only got above me. Time flying like a rapper in the